It is night. The snow has stopped falling. In front of an apartment building, people have gathered. An old man lies on the snow. He does not move. Beside him, there is a dog, curled up, head lowered. Someone says, "They must have come out together." Another person nods. That dog's always been trouble. Footprints overlap in the snow near the entrance, and the marks of a car stopping suddenly fade halfway. No one knows who collapsed first, the man or the dog. From a distance, the sound of an ambulance siren approaches. Until then, the dog does not move. He does not bark. He does not run. He simply stays there, beside the man. A quiet voice passes through the crowd. "So, this is how it ended." No one asks why they were here at this hour. Why the dog never left that spot. Why help arrived so late. Those questions remain on the snow, untouched. The old man's name is Henry. In this neighborhood, almost everyone knows him. He walks the same route, at the same hour every day. He sits on the same bench, rests for a while, then quietly returns home. When someone greets him, he responds a moment later, with a slight bow. "Oh yes, hello." Henry does not talk much. He never interrupts. Instead, he steps back first. At the elevator, on narrow paths, he always yields. The problem is the dog beside him. His name is Max. He is not big. He does not look aggressive. But Max often stops in the middle of the sidewalk, in front of people, at the doorway. At night, it gets worse. Max sits by the door and refuses to move. When Henry puts on his shoes, Max blocks the way. "Max, move." Even then, Max does not budge. When Henry raises his voice, Max lets out a low sound, not a bark, almost a whine. Henry sighs. "What's going on with you? You've been like this lately." The neighbors have seen it many times. That dog blocks people. He barked all night yesterday. He lives alone. Something bad will happen. Henry hears it all. He does not argue. He lowers his head. "I'm sorry. I'll be more careful." The words come out, like habit, each time. Max grows quiet. He presses close to Henry's leg, head lowered, standing still. This is how people see it. A troublesome dog. An old man who cannot control him. But Henry does not see it that way. One day, the building manager says, "Henry, we received complaints. They say the dog is dangerous." Henry pauses. He tightens his grip on the leash. "Lately, at night, he won't leave me alone." He says no more, because he knows no one would believe him anyway. People laugh. He's just protecting his old owner. Henry does not respond. Max listens to the laughter in silence. That night again, he stays by the door, still unmoving. No one knows yet when this discomfort began, and no one knows why. It has been getting worse. After that, Henry begins to leave small notes. Nothing formal, nothing important, just a sticky note by the calendar, a date, one short line. Breathing felt tight at night. Paused on the stairs. Max blocked the door again. The notes are not for anyone else. They are for reassurance. "I'm fine, for now." Henry says it often, even when no one listens. Max stays nearby while he writes, by the desk, under the chair, at his feet. What stands out is when Max moves. When Henry stops to catch his breath, Max stops too. When Henry leans against the wall, Max lifts his head. They are brief moments, but always exact. One night, Henry drops a glass. In the kitchen, it makes a loud sound. Max does not bark. Instead, he stands in front of Henry and does not move. "It's okay. I slipped." Henry smiles, but his hand trembles. For a moment, Max stays until the trembling stops. The next day, Henry pulls a hospital flyer from the mailbox, then puts it back. Later, that night, Max blocks the door more firmly than usual. Henry pushes with his foot, pulls the leash. Max does not budge. After a pause, Henry sits on the couch. Only then does Max step back slightly. Henry feels something is off, but he does not question it. Others see it this way. The dog is getting sensitive. He lives alone. That happens. Henry nods along. He's just anxious. Yet despite his words, Henry leaves the light on at night. Before sleeping, he checks where Max is, only then closing his eyes. No one notices this habit. It is dismissed as loneliness. For now, no one sees that these small actions are pointing in one direction. After that, people begin to see Max differently. It starts with small things. When the elevator doors open and Max steps out first, people step back. "Oh, a dog." Henry quickly pulls the leash. "I'm sorry." The words come easily now. One morning, on a narrow sidewalk, Max suddenly stops. There is nothing ahead. Still, he does not move. Someone behind them says, "Can you move?" Henry tugs the leash gently. "Max, let's go." Max stays still, his head slightly raised. A brief silence. Uncomfortable glances begin to gather. "Isn't that dog strange? He's been worse lately." Henry says nothing. He lowers his body further and pulls Max along. That evening, a notice appears on the building board. Pet management reminder. No names, no accusations, but everyone knows who it is about. Inside the elevator, voices stay low. "That dog from that unit, he barks all night." Henry stares at the floor number. That night, the doorbell rings. It is the building manager. "Henry, may we talk for a moment?" The tone is calm, the face is polite, but the conclusion is already there. "We've received several complaints. They say the dog is dangerous." Henry nods. "I'll be more careful." He does not explain, because he knows explaining would only make things harder. Max listens to the conversation in silence. He does not lift his eyes. Before leaving, the manager adds, "Next time, we may need to take action." The words linger in the room. Even after the door closes, Henry stands still for a long moment before sitting down. The leash slides slowly from his hand. Max sits in front of him. He makes no sound. He simply waits. People do not see this moment. What they see is already decided. A dangerous dog, an old man who cannot control him. That judgment settles quietly, but firmly. That night is unusually quiet. There is no snow, but the air feels heavy. Henry tries to go to bed earlier than usual. The manager's words keep echoing. Next time, action may be required. Henry does not turn off the lights. He leaves one lamp on. In the living room, sitting on the couch, he puts on his shoes. From that moment, Max does not move. He sits by the door, blocking the way with his body. "Max." The voice is low, careful. Max lifts his head. His eyes are not on the door. They are on Henry. "I'll just step out for a moment," Henry mutters, as if convincing himself. Max lets out a small sound, not a bark, Short. Low. Henry sighs. Not again. He reaches for the leash. Max grips it and pulls back. The force is not strong, but it is firm. Henry pauses. His breathing becomes shallow. He places a hand against the wall. The moment Max sees that hand, he lowers his body further. I'm fine, Henry says it, but his voice wavers. Outside, a car passes by. It is not late. Still, Henry feels uneasy. Max continues to block the door. Henry stands there for a long moment, then grabs the handle. At that instant, Max steps forward. His body touches Henry's knee. Henry looks down. If you do this, I can't go out. Max does not move. He only holds Henry's gaze. Seconds pass. Finally, Henry opens the door. Cold air rushes in. Max does not bark. Instead, he presses closer to Henry's leg. Henry steps outside. In that moment, his breath catches sharply. Henry stops. Max does not miss that pause. That night, nothing has happened yet, but the point of no return is already behind them. The door opens. Cold air pushes into the room. Henry believes he has to go out. He cannot explain why, but a strange certainty settles in. If he does not leave now, something worse will follow. Max does not cross the threshold. Instead, he grabs the leash and pulls back. Max, let go. Henry speaks, more firmly this time. Max does not release it. Henry steps forward. Max's body drags along the floor. A sound follows, low and rough. Henry pauses at the sound, but another voice is louder in his head. What if there's another complaint? How will people look at us now? Henry clenches his jaw and takes another step. Suddenly, Max changes direction, not toward the door, but toward Henry's legs. Henry loses balance. Hey, the word never finishes. His foot slips. His body tilts. In that instant, Max releases the leash. Instead, he presses his body hard against Henry's leg. Henry reaches for the wall, but his hand hits empty air. His breath cuts off sharply. This time, it is different. Henry cannot take another step. Then, Max barks, not like before. Short, harsh, relentless. The sound startles Henry. Stop. People will hear. Max does not listen. Under the porch light, Max's shadow shakes violently. Henry's vision begins to blur. The feeling leaves his feet. Max runs out into the night. Henry cannot stop him. Max. The voice breaks apart. Henry's knee hits the doorway, and he collapses. Cold ground presses against his back. At that moment, Max's barking grows distant. Henry turns his head, trying to follow the sound, but his eyes cannot focus. This was not a fight, not command, not training. They simply believed in opposite directions, and the choice has already been made. The road is brighter than expected. Street lights reflect off the snow, spreading pale light. Max runs into that light. He barks, short, unceasing. A car slows down. The driver looks ahead. A dog in the middle of the road, not standing still. Max steps forward and blocks the way. The horn blares. Max does not move. Another car approaches. From behind, a window rolls down. Hey, get that dog out of the way. Max barks toward the sound. People see it as aggression. A dog blocking traffic, barking at humans. Meanwhile, Henry lies just beyond the doorway. His eyes are open, but unfocused. His mouth moves, but no sound comes out. On the road, the scene escalates. Cars stop, doors open, people step out. That's dangerous. That dog is crazy. Someone pulls out a phone. Someone else raises their voice. Max never bites. He does not charge. He moves back and forth between cars and people, barking. But the movement looks worse. Someone's going to get hurt. A person approaches, holding a stick. Max does not retreat. He barks louder. The sound does not reach Henry. Henry cannot hear it. A car stops suddenly. Screeching brakes. Shouts. A brief silence. Max stands exactly where he was. His breathing looks heavy. Later, people remember the moment. Like this. The dog caused the scene. The old man couldn't control him. No one turns around. No one asks why the dog was there, who he was waiting for. That night, everyone saw the same scene, but no one saw the same reason. No one understands. That night, right away, police cars arrive. An ambulance follows. People begin to disperse. Max sits by the side of the road. His breathing is heavy, but he does not move. Someone asks carefully, "Where is the owner?" Only then do people look toward the house. By the doorway, under the porch light, Henry lies there, collapsed. "There's someone here," a voice shouts. At that moment, Max stops barking completely. A paramedic runs to Henry. Max does not follow. He stays where he is, watching. People find it strange. The dog does not flee. He does not attack. He simply watches. Henry is lifted onto a stretcher. An oxygen mask is placed over his face. Only then does Max move 2 steps toward Henry. Then he stops. The paramedic looks up. "This dog, was he here the whole time?" Someone answers, "Yes, he was blocking cars. He kept barking at people." The paramedic nods slowly, then checks Henry's wrist again. His pulse held longer than expected. The words hang in the air. Someone asks softly, "What does that mean?" The paramedic does not answer. Instead, the ambulance door closes. Only then do scenes begin to connect in people's minds. The dog blocking the doorway. The dog standing in the road. The dog that never bit. Someone murmurs, "Was he calling for help?" It is not certainty. It is doubt. But even that doubt changes faces. Max does not see any of it. He watches only the ambulance carrying Henry away. As the siren fades, his legs begin to tremble. No one says it out loud, but people are starting to understand. The dog was not blocking anything. He was calling. The next morning, the neighborhood looks the same. People go to work, ride the elevator, walk the usual paths. What has changed is not the routine, but the gaze. The notice on the building board is gone. No one says who removed it. Inside the elevator, voices are quieter. Those who shouted yesterday, those who filmed with their phones, now avoid eye contact. Someone mentions he was taken to the hospital. No one replies. Max sits in front of Henry's door. The leash hangs loosely from the handle. The door remains closed. Max does not bark when people pass. When cars slow, he only lifts his head. A child stops to look at him. "Dad, that dog." The father takes the child's hand. "Let's go quietly." It is not a warning. It is caution. By afternoon, someone leaves. A small box by the door. Inside, dog treats, not human food. Another person folds a blanket and sets it down. No names, no notes. Max only looks. He neither accepts nor rejects them. The building manager approaches carefully. His expression is different now. They called. Henry regained consciousness. Max does not understand the words, but at that moment, his tail moves just slightly. The manager stands still, then lowers his head. I'm sorry, it is unclear who he is speaking to. That evening, the neighborhood is unusually quiet. Lights are on, but sounds are fewer. People do not recount what happened. Instead, they say other things. We were too quick to judge. That dog never bit anyone. The words sound like apologies, but they are not, because they came too late. As night falls, Max lies by the door, closer than before. In a house without Henry, Max continues to guard the same place. Regret always arrives this way, quietly, late. A few days later, Henry returns home. On the day he leaves the hospital, in a wheelchair, Max sits in front of him. He does not bark. He does not jump. He only looks at Henry. Henry stops. For a moment, he steadies his breath and looks down. You waited. Max does not wag his tail. Instead, he steps a little closer. Henry slowly reaches out. When his hand touches Max's head, Henry closes his eyes. That day, you were mad at me. Huh? It sounds like a joke, but his voice trembles slightly. Henry sits beside Max. For the first time in days, he is not alone. Neighbors stand at a distance. No one speaks loudly. Instead, one by one, they lower their heads. Are you okay? That must have been frightening. Henry nods. Then he says, very slowly, this dog saved my life. Silence follows. Some bow deeper. Others look away. The building manager steps forward. Henry, back then, the sentence does not finish. Henry raises his hand. It's okay. The words are not forgiveness. They are closure. Henry looks at Max. He was always like this. He didn't explain. He didn't run away. Max does not understand the words, but he stays right beside Henry. People begin to see differently now. Not a dog blocking doors, but one calling for help. Not a troublesome silence, but a choice that stayed to the end. That night, Henry turns off the lights. The living room, the entryway. In the darkness, Max lies down next to him. Henry whispers, "It's okay now." The words are for Max and for himself. Outside, it is quiet. This time, it is not fear, just the feeling that the day has finally ended. This is not a story about a miracle. It is a story about an apology that arrived too late, and a presence that stayed without ever needing words. Thank you for staying with us until the end. We will be back soon with a better story. Your support, your likes and your follow means so much to us.